Good morning, guys. We are here at Mandy's house going to prepare pickles and can some green beans. This is my first time canning in a pressure canner, so everybody be patient with me and hope I learn so I don't blow up the universe. But today we're going to start by cleaning all the cucumbers, getting them all sliced up into little tiny pieces, and they said to put them in a big bowl with salt, a tablespoon of salt. You do it in 2 sections, tablespoon salt, then the pickles or the cucumber slices, then another tablespoon, and set them aside to marry in the salt for about 2 hours. So we're going to do that first in order to get that done, and then we're going to work on to the green beans and get them canned up, and then back to the pickles that we're going to make with the cucumber slices. So let's get busy. These cucumbers were bought at a farmer's market. Mine are considerably smaller than these. So I'm just going to wash up all the cucumbers. Get them all sliced up. Put some salt in. Now, this is what I seen on YouTube. This is how I do everything I do is off of YouTube. So if you're looking to do something, look it up. My sister wanted to know how to expand her jeans so they fit her a little better. She just looked it up. It was there. Now she has a pair of jeans that fits. I need to do that with any jeans I wear.
There's some good looking cucumbers.
Yeah. I think you paid $3 for $1 for them. So that's better than you can get them in the store.
Yeah.
And they are homegrown cucumbers, so. We have a possibility of 2 different things. We can make dill and bread and butter pickles. And then if we got enough left, we'll make something else.
Okay.
All right, that's all those. So now we're going to bring these over. Papa, son, I'm sorry, we can't do that today. You just cut the ends off. We'll give these to Mandy's chickens. And then just cut them, they say, in about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch slice.
Smell good.
They do.
Okay, get some of that done.
So scrap and then cucumber slices. Just sprinkle it over them, they said. And we'll put the other half in. And the top half, because she said you usually have more than that. She used a tablespoon and a half. Just moving around here so the salt goes down in there. Okay, now, alright, get your baby sucker in there. And it's 10, so at 12. Okay guys, now we're on to, if you see my same clothes, it's because it's all the same day, guys. I'm not going to change my shirt just for a video, but I have in the works now. We've got our green beans on cooking, our pickles are going to come next, but right now we're going to make a small batch of refrigerator pickles so that we can enjoy them immediately and save our regular pickles for on the shelf for the winter time when we can't get out, because it promises to be a nasty winter this year. So we've already started our brine, which was 2 cups of vinegar, a cup of water. You put in mustard seed, celery seed, pickling salt. So you put all that on to boil, because that'll be your brine that you're going to put in your jars to let it set up. You have to leave it setting for 24 hours, it said. So all that stuff has a good chance to marry, not divorce each other. Okay, so now I'm going to cut up my onion. These are, I think, by day onions, so I hope they do good. Whoops, it's thundering, guys. It's thundering. Say a little prayer that we get to get this cannon done.
Yep. Alright, so also need to cut some cucumbers up for these.
Well, we have cucumbers already cut up in the, you just have to.
You're going to use those ones?
Oh, no, that's right. We're going to cut those up. You probably have to, you want to do the onion while I do the,
Yeah.
because it's heavy. I'll let you finish slicing the onion. However you
Just
want it.
okay.
If you want it slices, you can make slices. If you want to chop them up, make little teeny pieces, put in there, that'll work too.
Alright guys, we got some onions chopped and ready to go into the recipe. So, I'm going to clean up my mess now. Now, how many cloves of garlic do we need?
It said 2.
Okay.
For this one. Now when we go to do the other one, it'll 6, I think, is what it said.
Alright, so I got the garlic done.
Put 1 clove of garlic in the jars. I'm thinking what it's
In each jar.
I'm thinking. Wait a minute. No, it says just 2 cloves of garlic. So I guess you would put it spoon. Well, I guess it would have helped if I turned that on.
I have my child.
Okay, let's see.
You don't like one there.
No, it says place one clove of garlic after using calls for two. If you do a pint, you do a half one. As you do a quart, you do a full one.
Oh, okay. So a little bit in each jar.
Yeah.
So 4 jars, what we need.
For this particular brine, yeah, 4 jars.
All right, guys, so our refrigerator pickles, the recipe we're doing is calling for 4 jars. So, got our 4 jars here. I'm just going to divvy out this garlic that I just crushed here in like 4 different ways. Doesn't have to be exact.
Is that water spill?
Yes.
I can see that.
So I got the garlic in the jars. The onions go in like that too.
Now you're mix your onions in with these pickle slices.
Okay.
Mix them in, so they're all mixed together.
Okay.
So now what
She's
I
ready.
gotta
A
do
little bit of bread in it.
is come over here and rinse this out and take out the spears that I made. And then put the, I think we're gonna have more than 4. I think we're gonna have another after.
So we got some cut in spears that we are going to divvy out here. Cucumbers really do go a long way when you're making pickles. Just not a lot of the, there's a lot of room, I guess. It takes up a lot of room in your jar.
Cut them in the spears. There's another seed in there.
Yes, this is probably going to fill these 4 jars.
Okay. I'll cut these other ones.
Okay, so then the onions are going to go in here, right?
Yeah, mix it in with the cucumbers and swash them around.
Okay. And a few more spears here. A few more. Alright, so onions are going in, guys.
Okay.
And then we're just going to toss them a little bit.
This is like thinking, I don't know whether you all have ever had it, but when I was a kid, Mom would take a bowl, she'd slice a cucumber up and an onion up and then fill it up with vinegar water and just let it set. You have to let it set for a good half hour for that vinegar. Boy, they were good though. So this is kind of like what that is. The only difference is we're adding a few other spices.
Okay, there's that much.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these cucumber jars, because we're not putting them in a hot bath canner. We're just going to put them in the refrigerator. We're going to cold pack them and then put
So I
some.
need to put the brine. I'm going to turn this down a little because
Okay.
it's already boiling. I don't want it to boil out
Okay.
until you're ready for it.
Okay. And we'll start putting these in the jars. And you do them the same way you do the green beans. You put them in and shove them down. Oh, people, I wish you was here to smell this. I mean, I really do.
Smelling good.
This is awesome.
Really shoving down in those jars. Pickles and the onions.
Just shove them down, shove them down. That's so you can get as many in there as you can get. Put some onions over here in this water. Gotta make sure you don't put too much extra water in there, but that's coming out of the cucumbers from where we put them in there. Keep shoving that. Well, we got sunshine out there now, people. Yay! I'm not sure that's a good yay.
Probably not for me.
Okay.
Okay, we might need another jar, but we don't have enough brine yet, so we'll just have to.
We'll do the
these
second
to the
batch with
side.
the spears and the. Oops. Put me some more onion in there. Shove them down, way down, way down. Probably have enough for one more jar.
Yeah.
Put some more of these onions out of there so it ain't all onion for the next jar.
Right.
Okay.
All right, good deal. Now this brine's ready. If you want to move them over here and
Move them over
dip
here.
them out.
These
Or be
jars.
careful of that canner.
Woo. Oh, them smell so good.
All right, so these are our 4 jars of. Our recipe was making 4 pint-sized jars. So
Yeah.
this is what we have. Why we have some extra cucumbers that we're not using just yet. So we are filling. Did it say a headspace?
It did. Well, I don't know whether it did or not.
Okay, I'll look at the recipe.
I'm letting the jar temper because we're putting
Yeah.
hot water into a jar, cold jar. I don't want it to bust on me. So I'm letting it temper.
Half-inch headspace.
Okay. So I think that's funny. That one might need to come out.
Smells good.
Typically you would pour this through a funnel, but we have misplaced our funnel for today.
Yeah. You also want to make sure you get your air bubbles, air pockets out of there. You don't want to have to go through all this and then realize when you get it out of the canner that it, well, these are refrigerator pickles, but
Yeah.
Generally you don't
Okay, here's our debubbler. Just stick it down in there. I don't know if you can get to see any of the bubbles coming up when I'm doing it or not, but
Yep.
there you go.
Just do that all around.
That's what you want to see. Go all around the outside, and then they said to go one time through the center, and that just can make sure that if you need to put any more brine on top of it. Okay. See all the bubbles coming up out of there? You wouldn't think that there would be bubbles in there.
Right. Because you poured it slowly.
Poured it slowly and stuffed it as far as I could stuff it. Make sure all of your fruit, the cucumbers, are now under the water. And then you'll see if you need to put any more. And these are just going in the refrigerator, so after 24 hours, you leave them out for 24 hours and then put them in the refrigerator. Or you leave them sitting in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours, but you let them cool down while you're this one.
Okay. Bring you back when we go to lid them.
So, let me see, do I need any more?
Just a half-inch headspace, so you can probably go ahead and piece it all.
Get all those little bits and pieces of that.
And bits. Bits and bits and bits.
That's what marries into the...
Guys, We have enough left
Well,
to
that's all
do
the
at
spears
least
over
one
here.
more can.
Yeah, we
plus
got all
the
these
spears.
spears too.
So I need to cut up another onion.
Yeah.
And some more garlic to
Yeah.
do 4 more.
Or we don't have to
Jars.
put the onion and put the garlic in. We don't have to put the onion in the spears. The only reason I did that, I mean we can, but the only reason I had said to do that was so that it would marry together here.
Yeah.
Okay, it needs to get me a
Paper
loose in the
towel.
paper towel.
This is vinegar here.
So do the same thing that we did before,
Oh, not really.
which is take your vinegar, wrap, even though you're just putting them in the refrigerator, you still want them to make sure that all the stuff off the top and around the edges are cleaned up. But look how good they look, guys.
They look wonderful.
They look like, yes.
Nice, very nice.
All right.
All right, and then we just put some lids and
Put some lids and some rings on them.
there's some lids.
I need to set this off that heat, but I don't want to turn the heat off just yet. Okay.
All right, so we set them off to the side and let them completely cool down.
Completely cool down, and then we put them in the refrigerator.
Okay.
And don't eat them for at least 24 hours.
Okay.
They said that lets all that stuff, all that goody good. Oh, they look so good though.
They look wonderful.
Yeah.
Nice. So we need to find somewhere to put them out of the way, but man, they're awesome.
Alright guys, so now we are coming back with our, we thought we only had one batch of refrigerated pickles. Turns out we had enough to make 2 batches. So now I'm going to take the remaining part of these cucumbers and onions that we did to start with and put them in one of these jars. This is a wide mouth jar. You can see it's bigger, so it's easier to get stuff in if you're doing stuff like this. Put a garlic down in there, stick it in. I'm only going to make this one more jar. If there's anything left, it's going to go in the trash. I don't have any more places to put it. Okay, so that's all that one done. These other 4 jars, I'm going to do them like this. They're going to be called spheres. So you turn your jar on its side, and you just load them up in there as tight as you can load them. And as Mandy said, this is the way we're doing it. Please Google anything you want to do, because this is actually one of our first times doing this kind of stuff on a all the time basis. So keep shoving them in there. You get the little ones on the top. You just keep shoving them down in as tight as you can shove. I'll eat this one.
All right, awesome.
Oh man, that's good crispy.
Back at the brine.
Always remember to temper your jar if you're putting hot stuff in a jar that's not as hot as the hot stuff.
That's a nice hot brine right there.
And in tempering, I mean just pour it in slow and let your jar heat up on its own.
Sorry for the other noise. That's our green beans going nuts right here for another 17 minutes. I'll talk loud over that. But you've seen this before. This is just our second batch. Just doing spears instead. Now, we didn't do as much onion in this batch.
I didn't put any onion in this one,
Okay.
but we had
Except
more
for-
room for ours. We did put the garlic in though, and all the spices. So we'll get to taste it without onion and with onion. See which one you like better. Don't get impatient and just dump a bunch of hot water into a cold jar. You're just asking for trouble. That didn't go on there right. And you'll tell when it don't go on there right. You'll feel it. Spears, look how pretty!
I love it. Okay, we'll let them cool.
Okay. Then we need salt, vinegar, and water. We just bring that up to a boil.
So does it say how many it will make?
6 quarts.
Alright guys, at this point we are doing our other pickles. Come in here closer so you can see Mom fill these jars up with the cucumbers and the brine she's making there. If you've seen our other video, you know that we are also working on some herbs back here. I'm trying to keep an eye on to keep them from getting too hot. So she's adding the garlic into the jars. Alright, so just cold packing the veggies. Cucumbers, which will be
Just
pickles.
like we did with the refrigerated ones. Okay. These hot jars, you don't have to be watching the temper so much. Alright, so lids.
Here's the vinegar.
Oh yeah. Wipe off the lids so our jars will seal properly. Right.
Okay, yeah, feels about the same. So, when you load or unload your jars, just do it away from yourself, just in case.
Oh, this one.
Now we have wide mouth, so it may take up a little more room in your canner. We're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But you have to use what you have available, even if you have to run your canner another time.
I need one more lid.
Okay.
What regular mouth lid?
Okay. So we put 3 in this other pot here. Just a regular stock pot or a, soup pot or whatever, and it'll do just fine. It's got a lid. All right, we'll bring you guys back when it starts to really rolling and boiling. That's when we're going to start our time. All right, guys, we got our green beans here out, and they're not green beans, the pickles out of the water bath canner, and we laid them out here to be cooling down. So we ended up with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a dozen more pickles. These are dill pickles, and they'll be shelf stable. Here's, not to be confused with our 8 pints of refrigerator pickles, so which are cooled down and they can go in the refrigerator anytime. So along with all these green beans we done today, and of course we are still making plantain salve. It's still in the back burner there. Still got an hour or so left to go, so it's just a slow process. But we're cleaning up now, and we will take pictures of all this, and we'll be back another time.